Hey, it's Chef Brandon from Four Winds Casino. We're here with another Cooking Creations. Today, we're gonna celebrate National Empanada Day, April 8th. So come on, we're gonna do some empanadas today. Lucky for me, my wife is from Ecuador and taught me about empanadas a little bit. She brought it to my attention not too long ago. She whipped me up my first empanada. It was quite the experience that I had. So this one we're gonna do today is a very traditional Ecuadorian cheese empanada. With their cheese empanadas, they do also have a little bit of sauteed onions in there too to give it that essence of onion with the cheese. There's a funny little twist at the end, but I'm gonna save that for a surprise at the very end. So here we go. We're gonna start up with the empanada dough. So first we got the flour, and we're gonna go ahead and add our baking powder into there. A little bit of salt. And we're gonna give those dry ingredients a nice little mix real quick. And I don't know about you, but at home, I don't have a dough cutter, and I don't think many of us do. So it's a key element to get that butter where it's still in small pieces, probably even smaller than this, but I want to make sure everybody can kind of see. So we get the butter and we want to cut it into that flour. So you want little chunks of that butter to be in your flour too. It's going to help you with a nice flaky, airy crust or dough. If you don't have one of the cutters, butter knives work. So if you take a couple of butter knives and you just cut that butter into that flour, we just want to get that butter cut in a million little pieces in there so it hides little pockets of flavor inside your dough and inside your crust. We're going to get a little bit of that water in there too here. Get our dough mixing up. So we'll go ahead and give that a nice mix up, get that water mixed in with the flour and the butter. We're going to get those into big clumps. Try to break that, like I said, break that butter down into that flour. So it's important to use a cold butter though. You want it to stay clumpy so that it can keep those pockets of flavor inside your crust and keep it flaky. And remember, just keep working it. You keep working your dough, eventually that butter and that water is going to get mixed into there, and you're going to have a really nice consistency with your crust. All right, we got the dough ready to go. It's a good consistency here, you can see. So what we're going to want to do from here is you're going to want to get this thing, wrap it in film wrap, saran wrap, whatever you have at home, nice and tight, the whole thing, because you don't want to lose any moisture out of that dough. Let it rest for about an hour, hour and a half, or you can even go overnight in a fridge with it if you made this the day before. Let everything relax in it. Let it start getting a little looser for you so you can really roll out your empanada dough. So let's get this bad boy wrapped up. We'll get it ready to go. All right, now we're going to move on to our filling. A little bit of olive oil with this hot pan. Getting warm here. We're gonna go ahead and slap our onions in there. Okay, so the whole key to this is getting those onions to a translucent state. If you don't want to get them real caramelized, or just a nice translucent state. That's what we're looking for. Not a lot of brown, not a lot of color on them, but we're gonna pull them off the heat now, let them cool down enough to where we can mix them with our cheese, and then that's our filling. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and make our empanada doughs. So you see we took that big dough ball, we're gonna break it down into some little dough balls. So you can probably get about 15, 16 of those out of that big dough that we made. So what I do is I'll break it down into some little rounds so we can try to get it as round as possible. None of us are perfect at this. It's good to have a rustic look to them anyways. It looks like you made them at home then. So easy. And I mean, if you don't have a rolling pin at home, some of us don't. You could try to use the side of a jar that might be kind of long and give you a nice little edge. A nice round edge, I mean. My wife does a better job than this. So at least she'll be proud that I'm making them for you guys. We got our empanada dough. We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna show you, we're gonna, about a tablespoon and a half of filling in there. You know, you wanna, sometimes you go two. You almost wanna be a little stingy with it because you just want them to want more as they're biting into it. You want that, where's that? I want a little more cheese, a little more onion, you know, so always wanting them more. Always leave them wanting more, that's what I should say. So we'll take a little bit of water, and we'll go around the edge of the dough here. This will help us seal it tight so it doesn't bust open in the middle of the frying process and make a mess in your oil. So we'll go ahead and flip that over and give them a little smash on the edges just to get that seal going. Sometimes when I have a lot of dough like this, I'll even fold them over to make sure that seals nice and tight. This is definitely probably not a traditional way of doing them, but this is my way. So, you see, we make sure that that seals nice and tight in there. Nothing's coming out. Fold it over, and boom, here we go. There's one. It's time to fry these bad boys up. Some cheese and onion empanadas. All right, here we go. Be careful, get your oil nice and hot in your pan. And we want to get those to where it's gently bubbling here. You can see it crisping up on the edges. Oh yeah, we'll get those two in there. I got a slotted spoon here. And let those, what I like to do, if I see them starting to rise to the top, I'll hold them down a little bit, try to make sure that they're getting evenly cooked. And then halfway through, I'll give them a good flip. All right, I'm gonna give them a flip in the pan here. Make sure they're cooking evenly. They're looking good. So these empanadas, they're gonna take you probably like, I'd say 45 seconds on each side. And once that golden brown's coming out in your dough, they're pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out right now. That secret component I was telling you about, it's right here at the end. So right when you get them out of there and you drain them for a little bit, you hit them with a little granulated sugar. It is amazing. When the first time I tried this, I told my wife, leave mine without sugar, because I don't know how to deal with onions and cheese and sugar. So let's just say the first couple times I ate this, I lived a boring life. It was delicious, but once my wife let me try it with the sugar on, my world was changed. It's like Ratatouille in the movie when he's seen fireworks going off. I tried this thing and it brings you to a whole nother world. So trust me, do it with the sugar, with the onion and cheese, it's gonna rock your world. All right, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna plate these up and we're gonna check them out. All right, we just made enough for the whole crew. I couldn't wait. This is Cooking Creations, Chef Brandon, Cheese Empanadas, April 8th Empanada Day. Enjoy. Come on, you guys, come get some.